Welcome to Monte Carlo, which for the next few days will be home to the great and the good of the global reinsurance industry. The weather may not be quite what visitors are expecting, but that hasn't dampened the spirits of delegates here at the Rendez-Vous de Septembre. And it hasn't dampened AM Best's positive outlook on the reinsurance segment, which it presented in its annual briefing this morning.
For us, the main determinant for a positive outlook is the sustainability of strong profits. We think the market has shown discipline. We've seen exceptional results in 2023. Both ROEs, combined ratios have improved significantly. And this is the result of a gradual process that we see starting in 2017, pricing, de-risking, and step change in the renewals 2023. We've seen actually companies in a much better position now. And that combined with an environment where we don't see any new entrants, where investor appetite is limited for a segment, and that's helping to that discipline that we expect to be maintained at least for another couple of years.
And a positive outlook for the reinsurance segment has implications for insurers as well.
There are winners and losers when it comes to the relationship between insurer and reinsurer. And as we've talked about quite a bit at AM Best, up until, say, 2 years ago, the soft market conditions for reinsurance capacity meant that primary companies were able to get that income statement smoothing, that kind of protection. So smaller, medium-sized, localized insurance companies that had, say, limited financial flexibility could leverage their reinsurer relationships and kind of smooth out earnings and guard against not just the event of a very severe kind of tail event catastrophe, but the frequency of small and medium-sized cat events that we've seen from secondary perils. That relationship has clearly reversed. Over the last couple of years, the reinsurers have stepped away from providing that kind of capacity, and it's a challenging environment for many primary insurance companies as a result.
And of course, during the whole week, reinsurers will be keen to continue dialogue with their insurance clients to find out what they really want.
So for the future demands of buyers, what I think the reinsurance segment is reacting to is their investor backers are basically saying, we need you to meet or exceed your cost of capital over a prolonged period of interest for us to really remain committed to this segment. So whereas the reinsurance segment is very well placed to kind of play that diversifying role, they're very eager to partner with primary companies and reinsure complex risks, whether that be cyber, IP, risks around emerging technologies. That capacity is absolutely there, and there's a lot of enthusiasm in the reinsurance segment for that sort of risk and that sort of relationship with the primary companies. Getting back down into that working layer, getting back down into the more active kind of loss layers on the property side, we don't expect the reinsurance community to get back into that. Aggregate treaties we're not going to see come back in full force, we don't think, anytime soon. So, that's another one that's on the radar. A financial market meltdown, what could happen on the investment side, liquidity dries up. That's also, of course, going to have implications for the global insurance and reinsurance community. So that's probably the largest risk area for the reinsurance segment in terms of an erosion of those favorable earnings. But again, their investor backers are basically saying, we're not going to support the kind of volatility that we saw a few years ago. So for that reason, we are not expecting to see a class of 2024, and we're going to see perhaps a slow erosion in terms of the very high returns that we've seen from the market. But we do consider that discipline to remain, and that should promote favorable earnings in the years to come.
From a not-so-sunny Monte Carlo, for AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks.